Hey everybody, it's Jim here. Today was supposed to be a demonstration of the Tone King Falcon Grande combo amplifier. However, we ran into some problems. The first amp that was sent out to me by Sweetwater, the reverb was absolutely not usable whatsoever. There was this horrible hum and feedback, and it's super disappointing, but sometimes things can get damaged in transit. They were kind enough to do what they normally do. They sent me a replacement in the meantime before I was able to send the other one back, and unfortunately, we ran into the same exact issues. Moral of this story is we'll address this further down the road because it's not the end with the Falcon Grande. I reached out to Tone King, told them what was going on. I spoke to them on the phone. I sent them some videos and gave them some feedback, and hopefully we'll have a new all-functional Tone King Falcon Grande in the near future. But I bring this to you because while I was doing all this troubleshooting and all of that kind of stuff to try and figure out what was the problem with that amplifier, I found myself in the parts bin, more specifically where the amp parts are, and I noticed something that I haven't really paid much mind to since it was damaged over 2 years ago at this point, and that's this amp. This was my first tube amp. This is a Music Man 212 HD 130 combo. When we had the hurricane, this one had to stay behind, and it is what it is. It got water damage on it. And fortunately, the water wasn't high enough where it got to anything in the circuit. But the spring reverb, we like surf sounds, but we don't want our reverb tanks to actually surf, so that was bad. That's not good. We have to replace that. And the wires that connect that from the reverb tank to the actual amplifier itself, those are going to have to be replaced. And both of the speakers, the cones got wet. That's not good. You don't want them sitting in water for long periods of time. The good news is I did manage to find an Eminence Legend speaker that would work with this amplifier, 8 ohms and an appropriate wattage, that is now sitting in here. And I also made sure that the amplifier was actually turning on. Not really sounding all that great, though. We only have one speaker. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to throw in a new set of EL34s from JJ, and we're going to throw in a brand new speaker, another Eminence. So let's see if we can get this thing up and running, and if we can't, we've tried. I'll have to bring it to somebody who can look at the actual board itself, but who knows? Well, we won't know until we try. All right, so this is where we are with the amp right now. I have the one replacement speaker in. The reverb tank and the back panel have been removed. The tank is no good. I have a new one, and I have a new set of cables that I'm going to use to connect the new reverb tank into the actual amplifier itself, although it doesn't connect up here. This is just where the foot switch goes in. It connects down under there under that transformer. But right now, we do have one problem, and that is we're missing one speaker, despite the fact that I found one of these Eminence Legend speakers, which will absolutely work for this amplifier. I needed one more. And due to some recommendations and positive things I've heard about this, I went to Mojo Tone. First of all, really fast shipping. I was happy about that because I'm so close to them. I think they're in the Carolinas. I'm in Florida. In case we need it, we have a new speaker harness which will connect the 2x12s. I bought this just in case. I'm not sure that we'll actually need to use this. Because most of the damage and what really happened was the water got low onto that part of the cone on the other two speakers, and that's not good when it's sat in that from the hurricane, and obviously the tank was also exposed to that. But as I said earlier in the video, it did power on, and the current condition is there's a brand new set of JJ's EL34s. These amplifiers didn't have preamp tubes. There was one version of the 212 HD 130 that came with a 12AX7. That was not for preamp tube. That was actually for the phase inverter. These models that didn't have that, it was a solid state. So let's go ahead and see what speaker we picked out. Here we are. It's a Cannabis Rex. I've heard a lot of good things about these speakers. The actual cone is made of hemp. I think that's pretty cool. Nice and green. So let's go ahead. ground's gonna go right there, the first ground on that panel. They're labeled, so white should go to positive, or the hot, and negative is our other ground. And then this one right here, this is grounding this, and this it's gonna ground right in here. Right around there. All right. Now, first thing I'm gonna do is just tighten. But I'm not going to tighten too much. And the reason I'm not going to tighten too much is because I want to be able to move the speaker just in case there's any location issues. If you tighten it down too much and you start going around and you find one of the screws isn't going in, it's not lining up, yeah, that's probably why, and then you're going to have to go back and find the culprit. If you start with everything just, you know, snug but not super tight, whereas you could still move the speaker around, you're in a much better position to do so. Now this is a tough one. I'm actually going to use a smaller screwdriver for this. It's still the right size. Right under this transformer right here, there is a mount for it. Not a lot of space. Might have to fast forward through this part in the editing. Now ideally what I would want to do is remove the whole board from it to install this speaker, but I'm a stubborn old man. And that's not going to strip. All right, that's sitting good. All right, let's go. Go ahead and tighten that at the very end, just a little bit more. Okay, now that we've gotten this last one going here, I can start really adding a little bit more snugness to the fit on each screw. We'll go around and we'll do that. Good snug. All right. Now, this guy is going to speaker A. All right, that's the default setting on it. And we want it on 4 ohms because these are both 8 ohm speakers. Now all I gotta do, I'm gonna put the amp back upright. I have the new mod tank in here with the new cables. These cables are gonna get installed right under here, red and then black labeled right there. So I'm gonna do that. We're gonna move the camera. I'm gonna power this on and let's see if it works. So we've reached a moment of truth. Gonna go ahead and power it on. We got the amp on standby right now. I'm plugged into the second channel that has the reverb and the tremolo circuit built into it. I don't know if this is gonna work. I just knew for a fact that I needed to replace the tank and bolt the speakers, and since the cables that came out of the reverb tank were obviously connected into it, I thought I should replace those as well at the bare minimum here. New power amp tubes, and in theory, so long as there's nothing wrong with the actual circuit, and there's a possibility there might not be because the water didn't get that high enough for the damage to actually hit that area of the amp, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it'll be really great if I was able to fix this on my own, because this has just been sitting in the closet and I've been intimidated because I work on guitars, but I won't work on amps because I'm not qualified to do anything much more than what we did today. However, if it seems like I'm babbling, it's because I want to make sure the tubes are actually warmed up. I don't want to force it at this point. However, yeah, they're glowing. So we'll go to the low input. There's going to be no volume at first. I want to hear if there's a ton of excess buzz or hum. It's not bad. The master volume is at 3. The only reason we have a mic on this today is so if this does work, it's absolutely going to make the vocal mic clip. So I'll at least be able to hear it a little bit. Let's turn the volume up. See if the reverb works. Oh, I'm a happy camper. Okay, there's a little bit of a after spring there, or kind of remnants, decay. I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I can't believe this works. All right, let's go to the channel and see if this works there. It appears as though I fixed my amplifier on my own. Basic troubleshooting, and that's it. Real quick, throw up a standby. That was on the normal channel. If we had played the Jaguars with the bright channel, I've owned this thing long enough to know my ears would have bled from the high end. Alright, I'm going to do a full kind of demo on this thing at a later date. I've run out of time today, but I've accomplished my goal, it sounds like. But one thing I did notice with the Les Paul, if I was playing a little bit louder, it sounded like something was either still a little bit loose in the amp or potentially a jack. Something might need a little bit of tightening. We'll go to the treble pickup and I'll see if I notice it again. Hey, hear that little pop? The microphone clipped out even from that. Like I said, this thing gets super loud, super quick. But it's back, baby. It's back. And the funny thing about this, why I believe my ears don't have problems with this amp, despite this always being so much louder than any other amp I've ever owned, has to do with the fact that this doesn't have the same mid scoop thing that a Blackface 65 twin or a Princeton Reverb has on. It's more specifically the deluxe reverbs. The deluxe reverbs, and the same thing that happened with the Victory. With it, if I had just done what I did when I had the Victory amp, I would have had to shut the amp off pretty much immediately because the ringing would have been out of control. So it really is just that little set of frequencies that messes with me. But that's it. I'm starstruck that this is working. I can't believe that that's all I had to do. And then I'm just stupid and a coward. And I didn't want to try it on my own. And fortunately, thanks to the issues that we had with the other amplifier not working, 2 of them, it led me to go back to this one. That's it. Thank you for watching today. We'll have more with this amp in the future. I hope you have a great day. I'm very happy, and I hope you're happy too. Bye-bye.